Okay, good evening, you guys. I'm so excited. I mean, I can't, there's so many people on Maria's Desire Team. This is so fun. Well, thank you guys for joining us, first of all, and thank you for hopping on and willing to pour into us, Allie. I appreciate it so much. You guys, I met Allie, gosh, it's been what, like, I saw Mel's post the other day, like either was 2 years. It's been two
Two
years.
years. Yeah.
I actually met Allie at our ambassador, Ashley Sinclair's house for a fun little weekend retreat. And um, I was just kind of thinking of people that I would love for you guys to hear of in such a big, important month for us, or hear from in such a big, important month. And she came to mind, and I was so grateful that she was willing to do this. So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her introduce herself and tell her story. And then we're just kind of ping pong question interview type style Zoom.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm super excited that you were welcoming, Stormy messaged me and said, would I come on? And I said, well, that's actually our team Zoom night. So can I invite my team too? And we go back and forth and double dip. And she was like, absolutely. Because I just love being able to share success from other leaders with our team too. So yeah, Stormy and I met at like a random weekend retreat. And to this day, I say that weekend completely changed the trajectory of my business. It changed my circle. And it just changed a lot of things. So I'm eternally grateful for your ambassador upline. For those of you on Stormy's team, Ashley, she's just the dearest friend and just a wonderful person. So, but my name is Allie Isnachi. I'm an ambassador. I have been in the business, it'll be 7 years in July, which is really crazy because that's the longest job I've ever held. So I joined when I was 30 years old. I had a 2-year-old. I was a nonprofit fundraiser. My husband was in sales. We had the house, 2 cars, daughter in daycare. Daycare cost as much as our mortgage. We were living that American dream, right? On the outside, nobody would have ever thought that we needed extra money. I'm probably the person who you scroll past and you say, she doesn't need this. She doesn't want this. And I'll be very honest that I saw the posts at first and I was judgy and I was like, oh, bless her heart. What did she get herself into? It was a friend from college. And, but I couldn't stop watching because on the inside, there was not enough money for our month. And when your daycare costs as much as your mortgage and you have 2 car payments, your nonprofit fundraiser salary in my dream job, and I was making great money for nonprofit. It doesn't go that far. And my husband was commission only. So we had good months, but we had bad months. And on bad months, things went on credit cards. There was no option. There was not an option to not put gas in the car. There was not an option to not put food on the table. But like I said, on the outside, we held it all together, but slowly but surely that credit card just ticked up and up and up and up. And we had about a $9,850 credit card balance with a $10,000. I was going to quit. So she said, so you got to figure it out. You have to come to this. And I went and I sat in that chair and I watched ambassador speeches. I watched them announce what Black Diamond was as a rank. Nobody had hit it yet. I watched Mark and Cindy speak, and I Cami and Denise were sharing the white chair, which is a pretty small chair. And they were talking about how they knew this business was for them. And Cami said, I knew this business was for me when I knew I never wanted anyone else to dictate when I could or could not see my children. And my job had me traveling. I was away overnight. I was dropping a daughter at daycare at 6:30 in the morning, and the tears just started to flow. And I looked at my sponsor and I said, I will be on that stage next year. And I think she kind of was like, okay. And I was like, mark my words. 2 months after that, I went diamond. 2 months after that, I went double diamond and quit my full-time job because it was about to be health and wellness season. It was supposed to be New Year's resolution time. And it was about to be super busy season in my career, which was a new job. I told my husband, I got to quit. I can't do 2 things well. And this side hustle could change everything for us. Because in that first 6 months, I didn't spend a dime of my at-work's income, you guys. I paid off that credit card balance in full. I have to the penny that hit my bank account went to that credit card. We did not spend a dime of it. And so I then went all in. My daughter went part-time at daycare, so I was able to spend more time with her. And you guys, 1 year to the exact day of that boot camp, I walked across stage at Green Carpet as a brand new to presidential and the number 56 earner in the entire company. And I am telling you that because the one thing that was not present in that year was a single limiting belief. I knew nothing about network marketing. I knew nothing about who did things, how fast, what you should do on social media. All I knew was that there was a chart that looked like that. I was here and I wanted to be there. And I didn't know that people didn't go that fast. I didn't know that it was supposed to be hard. All I knew was that the more people I talked to meant more people said yes. And then I could teach them to talk to people. That was all I knew. I was addicted to this business. I couldn't get enough of the success, and I couldn't get enough of helping people feel that same success. So 14 months into the business, I actually was the number 7 earner in the entire company for 1 month. It was a good month. It's still the highest I've ever been. And around that time, my husband, I said, gosh, you're so sick of your career. Just take a few months off, see what you want to do, maybe switch your career. So he quit his job. And then weird, 2 parents are home full time, boom, pregnant. And he was like, I missed everything with the first one. And now that was 2014, 5.5 years later, he's still home. We have 2 more boys. We had boys back to back. So I went ambassador 20 weeks pregnant. With that son, I was 21 months in the business. 33 months into the business, I broke into $1 million of revenue, or not revenue, of income. I broke into the millionaire club less than 3 years in the business. And now I'm 7 years. And I'm going to be really honest, you guys, I have had seasons. I have had all the seasons. I have had pregnancy. I have had postpartum depression, bad, the whole bad, 2017, bad year. We have had death. We have had birth. We have had issues with parents, issues with friends, seasons of our marriage. I mean, we have had it all. But I can tell you that momentum I built in that first 12 months was 100% what has carried me through. And I have signed hundreds and hundreds of distributors through my time as a distributor, but the cream always rises to the top. And there are people who were mere acquaintances who joined me who are now my absolute best friends in the entire world. And that we have bonded together to say, no, this is it. This is where we are. Our flag is planted, and I don't care what it takes. We're going to keep running. We're going to keep going. We're going to go be Black Diamond, because I had the mindset from day one is I'm going to make $1 million. Are you coming with me or not? And I'm going to make $1 million. I don't care if it takes me 2 years or 10 years, because at my current job, it was going to take me 20. So I knew that anything had to be better than that. I knew anything had to be better than that, like barely getting by, robbing Peter to pay Paul cycle we were in. So here we are. I can honestly say that currently, right now, April 2020, I am on pace for my biggest enrollment month I have ever had in the entire business. In the first 12 days of the month, I signed 17 loyal customers, and I am not a mass enroller. You guys, I have been a steps to success person from day one. I've done my steps to success. I've taught my steps to success. I have never been a mass enroller. I've had a few pop up on my team for sure. But I went ambassador in under 2 years, not being a mass enroller. And it's about duplication, and it's about teaching people. So I talked way longer than I thought I would there, but I got all fired up, Stormy.
No, I love that. Sorry, that shush was for my dog.
I know. I can tell you were like
walking in any minute. And here she is. No. I love that you said, I mean, I love all of it, but I really love that you said that last part, because I think even us, I mean, I know for me, I guess I can't speak for you, but I feel like that I probably can assume this, is that it's so hard to not get caught up in those people that are mass enrolling, you know? I mean, whether it's in your own little bubble of your team, you know, right? Like if it's in on your diamond team or on our triple diamond team, I have a couple of my leaders that are mass enrollers. And, but also then what we check into the VIP page, and it's like, how many distributors has everybody signed? And it's like 792, and it's 3 days in, and you're like, oh, okay. Like, and so I love that you said that. Rhonda Hartman, she always talks about that too, because the same way. It's all about duplication. Like, it's what you can teach people to do instead of doing all the work for them. You've got to be able to teach them how to do what you did. So I love that you said that, because I think it can get very much in your head when you see those big numbers sometimes.
Oh, the comparison game is real. And you guys, like, this business already feels super isolating. This business feels very isolating because we're doing something a little bit out of the norm. We're doing it from home. At night, maybe we're not hanging out with our kid or our spouse or our friend. We're this, and listening our earbud in. We're listening to one Zoom on our computer. We're here, we're texting, and then you're like charting on your iPad, but you're alone. And it can be really, really isolating. And in isolation is where you start to kind of second guess yourself and you start to doubt yourself. So then, yeah, when I jump onto that leadership page and I was like, I am killing it, I'm having such a good month. And all of a sudden they're like, Marwa blinked and she went double ambassador. And it was like, what? She has 3 less years than me. And Cami tells me, oh yeah, she'll knock out the Duns probably for number 1. I'm like, what? I had a cab run of a century in 2015. It was great. I mean, it's so easy to get in your head, but you guys, we got really, really serious as a team of like, we had to stop trying to teach everything and teach one thing. And what can our newbies do? And stop, you got to watch this and watch this video and watch this video and watch this video. And there are all these great videos. It was like, no, talk to your chicken noodle soup list and learn to host post. And we started about 2 months ago, only teaching that at first. And our enrollments, you guys, last month as a whole, my entire downline signed, I don't have the post-it note with me, but 2,050 loyal customers. As of yesterday morning at 9 a.m., so I haven't even pulled the new numbers, we had signed 1,500 customers in the first 12 days of the month. We're on pace to more than double. It's about keeping it simple. It's about making it duplicatable. And it is about understanding that people are going to run at their pace. There's going to be walkers, there's going to be joggers, there's going to be runners, and appreciating all of them for what it is. I had all of them at first. But you know what? I had signed, this is kind of an important number. My first 6 months into my business, I had signed 31 distributors. That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. You guys, I was double diamond. I built it pretty much on my own. I was always placing the loyal. I was always closing out the ruby. I was always building it. Yeah, I had people sign in 1 or 2. And I mean, obviously that wasn't every one person enrolled, but I was a double diamond. And my 32nd distributor, you guys, she went ruby in a month. She went presidential in a year. She went ambassador in 2 years. She was 6 levels down in my emerald leg, trying to save that leg. That was my 32nd distributor. You guys, my 35th distributor was kind of slow and steady. Grew, slow and steady. She's on here tonight. She was diamond in a year. You guys, she's presidential now. And my 37th distributor went ambassador in 13 months.
Wow.
That's Amy Spence. What if I had signed 31 distributors and I was like, this is stupid. I can't get anyone to work. And I quit. Because of those 3 people joining my business when I was a double diamond, I went from an under average double diamond to the number 7 earner in the entire company in 8 months. But what if I quit? So you just have to realize that everyone has their own pace. You keep doing what you're doing, people will rise up to meet you. Give them small pieces, give them little nuggets, but if they're stopped in their tracks, don't stop with them. Just keep walking, maybe walk with them, jog a little, like let them cut. They gotta get up to you. Don't stop with them. And don't feel like just because you signed someone who didn't work, that it has anything to do with you. It is only about them.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm all fired up tonight.
Hey, we like it. We love it. You might hear a little.
Maybe it's a promotion month for me too. So
is it? Or are you going for on your 2.0 spot?
double diamond on my 2.0.
Oh, that's what Alyssa Bowman is going this month too. Like I've been talking to her about.
Well,
it.
she was an ambassador like 6 years after me, but still.
Yeah.
So I've actually and talk about, you know, people are like, oh, well, you're ambassador, your chart never fell apart. No, I went diamond on my 2.0 last month with the 4th diamond chart. I went diamond for the 4th time. It has gone from diamond to exec, to diamond to exec, back and forth. So the right people weren't there. But you guys, it didn't mean I went exec and I was like, well, throwing in the towel. This is stupid. No, like I just kept building. I just kept asking. My only job is to tell as many people as possible about this opportunity and as many people as possible about the products. That's it. That's my only job. It is not up to me for them to say yes. It's up to them. I'm just Sherry.
Oh.
I just had to decide to keep going. Now, Stormy, you're promoting, so I'm going to flip it on you for a second. You're getting ready to promote.
We are,
this
yes.
team is promoting. I loved the password to the Zoom.
Yeah.
And
it's everywhere in my house.
Tell me, like, I think this is something that so many struggle with, is simply the decision that it will happen. Because you can't say like, oh, I kind of maybe I'll promote this month.
No, you can't. And the bigger the promotion, the more it takes, like the more willpower it takes. I mean, so much, you guys, that I've been the person that's been in the middle and the wishy-washy for way too long. I mean, y'all, I said it double diamond. I mean, I guess your team doesn't know. So just a short background.
Yeah, can you give us a little? I just went crazy there. Sorry.
Like, no, for the love, please don't tell your story again. So I joined, and when I joined, I had been watching my upline for a while, and I tried a couple products, and I thought, like, you know how you just, I don't know, maybe not you, but I do. I just get I get on stuff and I can't drop it, right? Well, I was just on one about our debt, our student loan debt. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're gonna be paying on this stuff until our daughter was 6 months old. It was just in here. I thought we're gonna be paying on this until she's in college. And then as soon as we get rid of this, hers is gonna come on in and we're gonna be paying on debt the rest of our life. And what the heck am I gonna do? I just was on it. And I thought, if this girl can make like $10,000 a month for her phone, I can make 500. And so I went to my husband. I said, what would that do? And he's like, well, and he's a finance guy. So he's got a whole bar graph and, like a chart. He's like, it would be good. So I'm like, okay, I can do it. So when I joined, again, my daughter was 6 months old. I was a full-time teacher and coach at high school and middle school. So I was the head middle school program and head high school. At that point, I was still judging on the side, some on the weekends. I mean, I was way too busy. And that was my excuse. Imagine that, is that I work 12 hours a day. I have a brand new baby. My husband just started grad school. He's not even home in the evenings. He goes from work to school. Like, what am I doing? But I also thought, what if I don't do it? Like, what am I giving up if I don't try this? So I jumped in and I went Ruby pretty quick. I earned that. It was when the Ruby bonus was $1,000. So I earned the Ruby bonus and I was like, oh, that was awesome. And then I just kind of sat, like, really, honestly. I just kind of played small ball, and like, I think my sponsor was like, I thought you were gonna be so good. And you came in, you were like a 5 or a 6. Ashley always talks about the deck of cards, the Sinclair. And I was like, oh, okay. So then about November rolled around. I joined in March, and November rolled around and I thought, okay, if I'm going to do this, I need to do it or I need to quit. And y'all, I almost quit in December because I thought, I don't think I really want to do this. And I thought about quitting. I really did, just because I'm an all-in kind of person. Like, I have a hard time being lazy with stuff, and I would be lazy. Where's that coming from? He's not muted. I don't know who it is because everybody had to mute when they got on. Did y'all hear that? Okay. So anyways, I started working really hard in November, and in January, you guys, I was paid as a Ruby. So I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary. I'm paid as a Ruby. I signed my very first Rockstar on January 16th. Again, in December, I was thinking, you either need to quit or do this. Signed my very first Rockstar January 16th. I was paid as a diamond in February. I was an emerald for maybe 48 hours. Like, my sponsor was like, by the way, you went emerald. It's not a big deal. You're about to go diamond. Cool. I was like, all right, I didn't, what's an emerald? No, I knew what an emerald was, but I was like, cool. I thought we were just going for diamond. Went diamond in February and double diamond in March. And so and that was when we had double good bonuses. So I actually earned $50,000 of bonuses back to back on my 1 year anniversary. I was looking at this check that was way more than I was making in public education. And I thought, holy crap, I just did it. This is the rank that my husband said, if you go double diamond, you could quit. Like that, he casually said that. And I know in the back of his mind, we've never had this conversation, but I know in the back of his mind, he didn't think that was going to happen. I didn't think that was going to happen. And so I got stuck, you guys, because I didn't want to come home. I wasn't ready to come home yet. And that was like, oh, when you go double diamond, then you can quit. Well, you're not ready to quit. So now what? And my why didn't keep developing. So I got stuck. And you guys, I did not go triple until July of 2018. I sat at double diamond for 2.5 years. Okay. 2.5 years I sat at double diamond. And the longer I sat, the more belief I lost in myself, you guys, the more belief I lost that I could ever go triple. The more over it I got. I didn't even want to talk about triple. So I went triple, and I've been triple since July of 2018. And I felt myself getting back into that spot in the fall of where I just the wind had really been taken out of my sails. And I mean, my leaders are a huge part of why I have regained a lot of my confidence and a lot of my faith in myself. And I have the best group of leaders ever, honestly, first of all. But so we just all kind of came together and decided, like, this is it. It's happening. We're doing it. And my friend Whitney said something the other day on our team page, and I thought this was so good, and I think you all need to hear this, is she said, when you make a decision, because a lot of times we don't know how something's going to happen, right? We just know we want it and we're willing to work for it. We're not exactly sure how it's going to happen. When you make a decision to do something, your brain starts finding all these pathways to make it happen. And that is so true, y'all. I'm doing things in this business that I have not done since I promoted to triple. Since I was shooting for triple in May of 2018, pregnant. I was trying to go triple in May, had a baby in June, went triple in July instead. Okay, I have not done things that I'm doing since then because my brain has switched and there is no way out of it. I can't give myself a way out, or I'll take it. We're humans. We'll take it, you guys. If you give yourself a way out, you will take it. I wanted to go ahead and start scheduling out May Zooms and having a leader on, and I thought, my gosh, I got to get somebody fired just in case in May we don't hit it and we need to go, we need to put, and then I was like, no, don't do it. And I have not texted anybody because I don't want to give myself a way out. I don't want even want that thought in my mind, y'all. So.
Isn't that the truth? It's simply the decision. And, that's when I actually have a tattoo drawn up, that someday I'll get. I have the drawing, and it's a forward arrow, and it's the word decide in the midst of the arrow, because regardless of where we are in our life, we have to decide to take a step. We have to decide to move forward. We have to decide it's time for something to happen. We have people tell us every day they want to lose 100 pounds, right? But unless they are ready to decide to make that happen, change their diet, get active, our TFX isn't going to work as well as it could. If they're going to drink their keto coffee every morning, but 4 days a week they're going to have a donut with it, it's not going to work because they haven't decided to do it. So like Stormy said, that was amazing. You aren't letting yourself think about May. You aren't letting yourself think about it. It's already done. It's done in April. And that's how I feel about double diamond this month. I've never gone double diamond on my 2.0. It's not going to be a reload. It's going to be a first time rank. And I don't care if I have to get every darn customer on that chart myself. It's happening. It is happening. We have to make that decision. And where this really came super, super apparent to me was actually in 2017 when I was really battling with some postpartum depression and just really in a funk, just funk in life, funk in marriage, funk in business, all the things. And one day I read something that just said, decide to take a step. And I didn't have to be perfect, but we had to simply decide to move forward. And you don't always know exactly how you're going to get there. And a therapist once said, it's like Dorothy could see the Emerald City in the distance, but she didn't know where that yellow brick road was going to take her. But she decided she was going to get there, and she was going to take one step after another on that yellow brick road, regardless of what it took. And then as she got closer, she's like, it's happening. We're getting there. We're getting there today. And like, so Stormy, you said, like, this is the month. It's happening. I guarantee you know to the exact dollar BB, every spot that needs it. The month I went ambassador, you guys, I had decided it was happening. I decided the day it was happening. I knew people were coming to my house. I knew the day. I still was one box short the morning I was hitting ambassador.
Hey, like
There was
distributor there?
not a distributor there.
You just gave me chills. I'm one box short on one of my lists.
It was happening. It was already done. I knew that before midnight that night, I would be ambassador. And I didn't, it wasn't even like, oh, well, what if? There was no what ifs. And that's when you are promoting or whatever goal you have, you know, and maybe it's not a promotion because you guys, it's not always about the promotion. Maybe it's about the income, you know? Maybe it's about you want to just get the courage to be getting 5 posts up a day. You want whatever that is. You want to be sending 50 messages as one a day, leading you to 10 good conversations. Like, you just simply have to decide it's happening with no limits and no reason it won't. Because the second, like you said, Stormy, exactly, like what your brain doesn't know the difference between reality and visualizations. It doesn't. Your subconscious absolutely does not know the difference between that, because if you are dreaming you're falling off a building, what happens? You wake up startled, right? You feel like you're falling because your brain doesn't know that you're not really falling. So if every single day you visualize clicking on your eSuite and seeing that name, visualizing your chart, seeing every box filled in, highlighted green, because that means they're over 400. If you visualize every single day your paycheck being a certain dollar amount, it will happen. You guys, I visualize every single night before I go to bed. The only thing, I'm a very anxious person. It only happened after I had kids. I have tons of anxiety all of a sudden. It's so weird for me because if you've met me in person, you'd think I'm pretty chill. All the internal things happening, all the feels, all the time. So the only thing I let myself think of is I shut my eyes at night. Because it's hard to turn off your brain, especially if you're really busy, right? Over and over and over again, I shut my eyes and I visualize myself clicking commissions in eSuite and it loading and it being a very specific number. And I see the date. So last month I just kept reading. I kept seeing the date, you know, April or, you know, March 2020. You guys, my primary account, my husband's account, and my 2.0 account hit that number within $100 this month.
Wow.
Every single, so you know what I did now on April? I gave myself a $7,000 raise because if I visualize it every single night and I decide it will be. This is not the first time I have visualized my paycheck and hit it within hundreds in my business. But you have to be consistent with it. You have to write things down every single night, every single morning, every single day in a notebook, just for 5-6 minutes. I write down, I am a magnet for money. Everyone who joins my team is a loyal customer recruiting machine. As though by magic, everyone who joins me goes Ruby overnight. You know, distributors are chasing me down to join my team. These are the things I say out, I write down, and then I actually say out loud every single day. Because when you decide it is so, it will be. But it has to happen every single day. And over time, the more you write it, the more you say it, you are actually reprogramming your brain. Every single habit you have, every single behavior you have, and every single belief you have can be reprogrammed. Every single one. The blueprint you have in your brain about money, the lies you tell yourself about your worth, they can all be reprogrammed. But if since the day you were born, someone told you you are always going to be poor, it's going to take a whole lot of work to convince yourself that you are a magnet for money. You know, but every single thing that you tell yourself can be reprogrammed. But you would never look at your kids and tell them, you're not going to achieve that. You're not going to win the spelling bee. You're not going to win the track meet. don't try out for basketball. You kind of suck. You would never tell your kids that. You would never tell your best friend that. You would never tell your mom that. Why are you telling yourself that? Because every single person on the Zoom is worthy of whatever you have decided that you should be this month. So start speaking to yourself like you are your own biggest fan. Start writing it down. And if your circle's not cheering you on, find a new circle. And I can absolutely say that weekend that Stormy and I met, I realized I was worthy of a higher circle. Are you going to bed? Yeah. Good night. Love you. Sorry. And you are worthy of a better circle. And for years, I didn't realize that until that weekend. And I thought, there are 30 women in this house who have never met me who are my biggest fans. I need people to always be my biggest fans. There's some of them on here tonight. So I don't even know what the question was. I just tangented, of course. But like it's so, I make this all sound so simple. It's not. It's very, very, very hard work to reprogram your brain. It's very, very hard work to find your worthiness like that. But you simply have to decide it is done. Decide what you will be, and then you have to put in the work. Yeah, you can't just like say an affirmation every day and like lay on your couch and like eat Cheetos and think it's going to happen. Like, no, I am working harder than I ever have, but I am having so much fun because I know it's getting me to that thing that I know what's happening. And it's like, I can almost like feel that gap closing.
Yes. Oh my, you can.
You can, right? Like you can physically feel it. That's like, oh yeah, because it's already the 13th and I haven't even projected a volume yet. I was waiting until the sale was over and it didn't end. And I'm going to do it in the morning. And I'm like, but I know it's going to happen. I don't even know what the numbers are. And I, without a doubt, unequivocally know it'll happen.
Yeah.
And so whether your goal is to be 500 GB and just get a good paycheck because you just started, or you want to be a Ruby, or you want to sign your first, you just keep following the people that you know are killing it and have that mindset, because the more you're close to them, read their posts, watch their videos, whatever, you don't have to be best friends with them, consume their content, you will level up your thinking to be like that. Like what for you, Stormy, like what was that like really made you believe, like, because I remember when I guess you were pregnant when I met you.
I was, yeah, I was pregnant with Emerson.
And then you promoted shortly thereafter, but like, what is that like makes you know every single day that like this promotion's happening and then it's not done? Like you're going to just keep going.
Gosh, I feel like when you said it's hard work, you guys, working on yourself is the hardest work that you'll do. And I'm like Allie, I did not like, probably half of my team was like, oh, that's Stormy. Like I didn't have any anxiety until I had kids. And now it is, I would say, debilitating on some days, not all days. Like, but I feel like if you just know me and we just have a conversation, you wouldn't think that I'm not awkward. I don't pull my hair out and like, I'm not like this freaked out, frazzled person. But it's just, it just had taken over my life, and I think that it was me deciding that I couldn't let it run my life anymore. I couldn't let it run my business. I couldn't let it make me short with my kids anymore. I couldn't let it keep me from living my life. And it's the hardest work I've ever done, working on myself. It's so hard. Yeah. And it's still, every day is a work in progress. And there's some days I wake up and I feel so good. And then fear hits me and I freeze. It's like Kelly Brown's, this is what I hear Kelly Brown in my head saying, turn your thoughts off, turn your thoughts off. The other thing is, I know I've put in the work and I feel like I've really done what, and kind of stepped into what I loved about this business from the first place which was coaching. Like I'm a coach at heart. I love to coach. I loved my gymnastics kids. Some of them are on here right now. And there's things that I would never have said the things that I say, like you said, to myself, to them, ever in a million years. Never I would have said those things, but I say them to myself every day. And it was just deciding that I wasn't going to do that. And just getting back to who I was. And then once I found that person, I realized that God wasn't giving me a presidential team because I didn't deserve one. He wasn't giving me the team because I wasn't ready for it. And I wasn't ready to lead it. And now I feel so ready. And I think that's part of what's helping me close the gap is I know that I mean, I'm not the perfect leader, but I'm working on being better every single day for my team because they deserve better. If we were going to go presidential, they deserve somebody that was worthy of that title. And, I think that was the big switch for me, but it was working on myself, and that's the hard part about this business, right? Is it highlights our flaws. It can bring out
Oh,
some really good qualities in you that you didn't know you had, but it can also highlight those ones that you're like, oh, yikes. Didn't know that was
yeah,
there.
it really, really does. So, this has turned so much into more mindset
I know. I'm like,
related
I
thing,
feel
but
like I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
no, it's so good because I think, everybody's like, what's the task? What are you doing? What's the message? Y'all, it doesn't matter. When I started, and I mean, Pam even still says, she's like, man, you came out of nowhere. I had no clue what I was doing. My posts were awful. My messages were this like stream of word vomit. But I believed it was happening. I had no limiting beliefs. Now I kind of think we know too much. And we
Oh,
compare and we like it's just crazy. So I think so much of that is just like you just have to shake off those limits. And we're in a season of crazy. We're in a season of uncomfortable. We're in a season of like disorder in our lives, right? You guys, I don't like waking up at 5:30 in the morning. That makes me kind of want to gouge my eye out. But my kids aren't waking up till 8 these days. So if I wake up at 5:30, I can work and send messages. And then if all crap hits the fan all day long, I got that done. And you guys, I can tell you that on Easter, I still got up. And so my team knows if they get on my Zoom at 6 a.m., I'm there every single day, 6 a.m. I'll put the number in the chat. You guys are welcome to come. It's always Monday to Friday. And this month I said it's 7 days a week. I mean, the tasks are exactly the same every day. I do the exact same things for an hour. And then some other ambassadors jump on with me starting at 7. And usually the Zoom's actually open from about 6 a.m. till about 9. But that's my time. So on Easter, I sent follow-up messages to anybody who had been interested and just said it was like the last day for the promo. Because I signed 3 loyals by 10 a.m. on Easter morning. And it was because I'm doing what's uncomfortable. Do what others won't so you can have what others can't. It's not the first time you've heard that, but it's so true. I hate waking up early with every bit of my soul. I would rather stay up late and watch a movie with my husband and actually spend time with him or scroll TikTok or do anything mindless to turn my brain off. But I'm not. I'm training myself. And promotion months, have those conversations with your spouse, your partner, your friend, whoever that is whoever you're quarantined with. Right now, there are 17 days left in the month. If you're promoting, if you're part of this promotion, I don't care if all you want is 1,000 GV and not a single customer. You just want money and you just want 10 fast start bonuses. You need to tell the people you are with that it is game on and you're going to have to sacrifice. You guys, I haven't watched TV since February. You guys want to know, like, I'm going to shout her out right now. Taylor Mitchell is on this Zoom. She is 40 weeks pregnant today, and she has signed 18 loyal customers this month. She's getting induced Thursday night, and she's like, well, I don't care. I'm reloading Diamond. Like, she knows every freaking number down to the ounce of GV that she needs. So having her first baby this week isn't even phasing her. She's like, yeah, well, that's obviously going to happen. It's going to change things. But you have the conversation with yourself. You have the conversation with your household. Whatever is happening in your household is going to happen. I mean, my kids were beating the snot out of each other with hockey sticks the other day, like outside my office door to get my attention. I mean, they're 3 and 4. It was hard. But like, I had to set it down. But I knew I had done the work early in the morning. So to go play referee, I could do that. You simply have to make this business your priority. And if you don't truly believe that this business can change your life, if you do not truly deep down know that this is your ticket to that thing you want, nobody else is going to believe you. Nobody else is going to join you. Same thing with the products. If you do not have deep, strong belief that these products will work, no one's going to buy them from you. And the same thing, if you do not feel that you are worthy of the time, if you are not worth the time to spend on your business, if you are not worth the success, you won't get it. But your business is your priority, no one else's. Your customer's top priority is not ordering hair, skin, and nails by the 30th. Your priority is them ordering it. It's on you to follow up. It's on you to find the time. It's on you to decide what's happening.
Oh, I love that. I love that you're talking about making sacrifices, because I have that right. Like I have that a little bit written down, but I remember, so I always talk about this like it's labor, right? Like if you're a mom, you know that labor was not fun, right? Like I don't care if you got the epidural or not. At some point before that epidural, it was not fun, right? That's why you were asking for the epidural, okay? It was not fun. Like my births were totally different, but they were both hard. But I wouldn't go. You don't remember. Do you remember? And all you think is, man, I really wish I would have done that to get that. Nobody does that. You don't look at your kids and think, I really wish I hadn't gone through that. And it's the same way when I was promoting for Ruby to double. I mean, it doesn't even feel like it's like a different world, right? Like I would come home, my husband's in grad school, my baby's, bath, bed, all that, I would walk out of her room at 9:30, look at the clock and think, okay, now I get to eat dinner. Now I get to make her bottles. Now I get to do all these things. And then at 10:30, 11 o'clock, it was time to sit down and work my business. I got a lot less sleep than I used to. Actually, I don't even know if that's true because I stopped watching TV, like Allie said. So I probably was up just watching TV up until those times. I made sacrifices, y'all. I mean, just Saturday, my kid was dyeing eggs and I was in my room working while my husband took it. But that's okay, because you know what? Like I always in the front of my mind, I'm thinking I'm giving up the good to get the great. I am giving up watching her dip those eggs in the water because I'm going to be able to pay for her college. I'm going to be able to pay for her first car. I'm going to be able to pay for her wedding. Okay? Like I'm going to be able to drop her off at kindergarten every day and pick her up at school. I used to work 7:15 to 6:30. I came home and it was bedtime, y'all. People were spending more time with my kids than I was, I mean, it was like an hour total a day that I was seeing my kids. That's terrible, And so, yeah, if you have to give up some of those stuff, some promotion months, or when you're going for something, it's okay. It is okay. You are doing it for a reason that is worth it. I promise you. So I love that you talked about you don't watch TV and you get up early, because you have to make sacrifices. Very, very, very rarely are you going to get to build your dream while doing nothing, right? You're typically building your dream while working full time, and you're going to have to sacrifice. That is what it is. Something's got to pay the bills while you're building that dream.
100%. And take the time after the promotion, go on the date night. Hit the goal. My husband and I were talking about, and we love like good food, good wine. We really try to take a vacation together every year. We actually went to Nashville together before all this hit, right when Valentine's Day weekend. But the other night he was like, oh, he's like, so you're going double this month, and I was like, yeah. And it's not you're gonna try. He's like, you're going double this month. I'm like, and he's like, so what's the rest of the goals? I said, end of summer, triple, end of year press. And he's like, okay, so after you hit triple. He's like, what, like July? And I was like, yeah, July, August. He's like, okay, when kids go back to school, can we go on vacation? I was like, absolutely. Because like, I'm going to work our tail off. We're going to sacrifice. He sacrifices time with me. I sacrifice time with him. We try not to sacrifice our children, but 100%. Yeah, there are times that I'm not the kid. Maybe my husband goes and picks up my kids from school every day, so I get an extra hour of work or whatever. And that's fine. But then I'm going to invest in us. Like it doesn't mean you have to sacrifice something forever. Right. You sacrifice what is not a priority at the moment. Our marriage is always my priority, 100%. But our marriage is strong and stable, and we have shared goals. So the $100,000 budget we need to renovate our house to make our like old house that we bought into our dream house, that's our number one priority. So he knows that if that means 2 more hours in my office a day, or a late night Zoom, or that I'm not staying up watching reruns of The Office with him, Like, that's okay because we're building our dream life together. And we're gonna, when we get to take a breath, we're gonna take that vacation. We're gonna go on that trip. You know, I worked like a crazy person. And then after I went triple diamond, I mean, it could not be more like kismetly happening. I paid for a trip to Jamaica for us together. I paid for it in cash, and reading the book Beach Money on the beach, commissions posted, and I had my first 5-figure paycheck. And it was like, okay, this is why it's worth it. From that double diamond paycheck to that triple diamond paycheck was an $8,000 raise. You know, you guys, maybe this month you want a $100 raise. What if that's a $1,000 raise next month? What if then that's a $3,000 raise? This business is exponential, but you just have to decide that you are worth it and the sacrifices are worth it. Because it does take sacrifice. Business, you think that guy who opens the coffee shop down the street isn't working from sun up to sun down to, you know, turn a profit and make that the best coffee shop ever? Brick and mortar business owners are never shunned for pouring their heart and soul and life into their business. I'm not asking you to give everything, but when it's time to work, give it your all. When it's time to be with your family, give your family your all. You guys, my phone is plugged in on silent in my office. During the school year, it was about 3:30 to like 7:30. Now the schedule's a little off, things are a little wonky, but that's family time. When a distributor, a potential says, hey, yeah, I can call you with my info at 5, I say, that won't work for me. I'm unavailable at that time. That's my family time. And that's okay too. When you're working, work. With your family, be with your family. When you're working out, work out. You know, and the second you do all that, it's gonna happen. Yeah, sharing goals is so key. You have to have a shared vision. I'm just trying to glance at the chat right now to make sure I didn't miss anything.
I know, I've been trying to keep an eye on it. I think mostly just loving what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I didn't even really go through our questions. We were just touching.
No, we just talked.
We were just talking. No,
now it's just such a crazy season that everyone just needs to like shake it out a little bit. So what's your plan? What's your game plan? Like, what are you doing? You know what's happening, obviously, but everyone always knows what's the secret sauce. Like, so let's close. Like, I know we've almost been an hour already. I want to know, like, what's your days looking like? Like, because everyone's home, everyone's locked in together. People are like, well, I can't work. Everyone's here. You know, what's that looking like for you and your team right now?
Are you asking me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, my kids, I'm like, when I decided I was going to come home, right? I was like, okay, my kids are going to stay home with me majority of the time. Like, it's going to be great. And I realized very quickly, like halfway into the summer, that I could not be a present mom and a present business owner. And it was not fun for anybody. I'm just going to say it right there. It's not fun. Okay. My 14-month-old was terrorizing. I mean, we were in tears by 4:00 every day. And my husband said, what are you doing? You still have to make money. You came home to be a work-at-home mom. And we had Erin tweet on a Zoom, and she said, I am still running a business. My kids go to daycare from 9 to 3, you know, and that is my time. I work. And I thought, that's it. Like, what am I doing? You are still running a business. You are still very much working. And so my kids are still in daycare, their daycare hasn't closed. So we're still, I know it's crazy. We're still there. And so I work from about 9 to 4 every day. And then I do what you do. I put my phone away, you know, and those are those hours that I am with my kids and I'm very present. And y'all, everybody is so much happier because I can be intentional where I'm at. I could not be intentional. And some people can, and that's great, you know, and I don't believe that we're all meant to do the same things. Like, we're not all meant to be doctors or teachers or lawyers and all those things. I was not meant to try and work and be a 100% mom. So yeah, we're just plugging away. Like you said, it's a weird time because some of my team that's not normally home is home and they're working from home, and we're doing all the power hours. You know, we have a power hour open. I feel like 50-70% of the time somebody's on. We're doing a little thermometer contest. It's like always right here next to me. And we're
That's awesome. I love the thermometers.
so yeah, we're just. Are you now? Can you just finish up by telling us like how important the 90-day pushes are in this business, and like how you've stayed consistent when life is happening during those?
Oh, well, I will say, and I just put the Zoom info for where I get on Zoom at 6 a.m. every morning. If anybody wants to join me, I mean, it's not that exciting, and I can never play music loud because it always wakes people up. But we all hang out. So momentum is the only thing in network marketing. If you want to be very successful, you want to make a lot of money, momentum is how it will happen, because momentum is an energy, and energy is shared, right? So if just you're plugging along and you're picking up a little bit of speed, like that's great. But think about a snowball, and if you are walking through the snow and you're getting a little bit faster, your path's getting a little bit deeper, right? You're spraying snow a little bit more, but like no matter how fast you go when you're alone, you can only dig so deep. You can only spray so much snow. But say you're a tiny little snowball and you're pushing the snowball, pushing it, and you're pushing it and you're getting a little faster. What's happening to the snowball? It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger because it's growing, because it's lots of things going together. The path is getting larger. The path is getting deeper. You're grabbing more. The width of it all is growing greater. So like, if you feel like I'm just doing this and I'm just going to do it all, you can't do it all. What happens in a 90-day push, what happens when you create that momentum, is that suddenly, it's like in Finding Nemo, when they're all swimming different ways, and then all of a sudden he's screaming, swim down, and everyone starts like kind of looking, and they're like, oh, and then what happens? Like, there's just this rush, and the net rushes to the bottom and breaks it. That's what happens with momentum, is that you're no longer running on your own. Your team is starting to come with you, and there's just like this sort of force and this energy. And let's say there's 5 of you, and your energy is so intense that everybody grabs more and more, and then there's 10 of you, and then everybody grabs one more, and then there's 20 of you. And that's where exponential growth, which is how you make life-changing money in network marketing, comes from momentum. So the energy it takes to create momentum is intense. And it is a lot, and it is early mornings, and it is posting too much, and it is messaging too much, and messaging to that point of like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I'm going to get blocked or not today. Like you're going so hard, so fast, that you're like, how am I ever going to keep this up? But when that energy is so intense, I can tell you that myself and Amy Spence and Ashley Renaud, our team right now, like amongst us leaders, we said we have to create momentum again. So we have just started working like bananas, and our enrollments are through the roof. And it didn't happen instantly, but we just kept going. We kept going, and then we grabbed one, and then we grabbed one, and then we grabbed one, and now it's bigger, and our enrollments are up, and we're feeling that energy on our team growing. And then when that happens, and 90 days in, you do need to take a hot second, there's hundreds of other people who aren't ready for their hot second yet. And that's what momentum is. It's not you take a break and your whole team takes a break. You've created so much energy that now, as seasons of life happens, there's always somebody going crazy next. So your team is always growing. I will say for you as a leader, because every single one of you would not be on the Zoom right now if you were not a leader. If you were not capable of leading, and you are worthy of being a leader. As a leader, it is okay to take a breather. It is not okay to take a break. Never, ever, ever let your team think or see you take a break. self-care is not optional. Self-care is crucial if you want to survive this business long term. But you can take a breather. You do not take a break. And you never tell your team things like, I'm just going to take a week off. If you take one full day off, totally great. Take your Sabbath, take your day, if that's it. But that doesn't mean you do 6 days worth of work in 6 days. That means you do 7 days worth of work in 6 days and then take your day off. But more than about a day, it takes you about 3 to 4 days to get back in your groove. So what if you're taking 1 day on, 1 day off? You've never hit your groove. You've never hit your system. You'll never hit momentum.
Yes.
90-day push. I mean, I told my team, I said, I'm going double diamond. So if that means that I get up at 5:30 a.m. every day in April to lead a 6 a.m. Zoom, that's what I'm doing. It's not optional, but I know that the momentum we're creating, by creating the documents and putting the systems and doing the extra Zooms and saying, I've got 30 minutes, I'm going to just pop on Zoom and do a training. Those things will pay off because your energy is shared. And so I think, and the systems that come out of those 90-day pushes will become cultural like foundations in your team. The things that you'll create in those 90 days are like, oh my gosh, this just works. So you'll just keep doing it. There's always, every 90 day, every 120 day, whatever that push is, there's always things that just become sort of part of your institution. Just put your head down. You can do anything hard. I tell my kids all the day at time, we do hard things. We do things that make us uncomfortable because they are what make us better. Give up TV. Get up an hour earlier. Write your damn affirmations every single day and stop telling yourself that you're not worth it. Just do it. Sorry. I'm really trying not to cuss. My team knows I've been really good. My team's probably like, wow, Ellie hasn't really cussed at all on this Zoom. But
Bothering us, I promise.
it's so true. You just, in 90, it's non-negotiable. Momentum will change your business, momentum will change your bank account, and therefore momentum will change your life. I watched it happen. It's happened to me. It's happening again. Momentum. So what's cool too, momentum, a huge momentum push in your own business for you will generally happen once. But then what's so amazing, as you try to recreate it, you suddenly watch it happening for your team. And you watch them go on a cab run and you're cheering them. And of course, your paycheck's going up too. And to see your team have that success is like, oh, nothing's better. Nothing is better.
I agree. At some point, like we always say, your why develops, and at some point material things, they're not important anymore, but you want people to find what you found. And that's that financial freedom and that freedom of time, you guys. I can't imagine having to go back to work. I just can't imagine. I'd be a terrible employee. I would. I'm like, it would be terrible. Thank you so much.
Oh, this was so good. I'm all fired up now. I'm like, I don't want to go to bed. I got to work.
Yes. Thank you. Well, we always stay on and work after. You're more than welcome. But I'm going to get up and get on your power hour in the morning. I'll see you in the morning. I made a decision there.
Perfect. I can't wait to see you all. We've had a chat. We help each other. We share messages, all that. So thank you guys so much for having me. If you'll shoot me the recording when it's done, I really, really appreciate it. And I hope my team loved meeting you. I've been getting texts saying how great this is. So
thank you so much for joining us. And I can't wait to see your Double Diamond promotion.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see your press promotion. Yay! It's happening. It's happening. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.